everyone. Welcome here to Front Row Promotions. I am one of your hosts, Candy Burton. My lovely co host, Lisa, could not be with us tonight. She had some family, um, certain family things that she had to deal with. So we wish her the best. She may jump in at the very end, so y'all will be able to see her pretty face at some point. And alongside my powerful and attractive understudy there, Angel Alamo from the Metal Summit. Welcome back to Front Row Promotions.
Oh, thank you. It's always fun.
Absolutely, we're so happy. Thank you so much for standing in for Lisa. The long hair kind of you guys kind of resemble each other with the long hair, so I don't think people notice too much of a difference.
No, but she says I have longer hair, so
Okay. Well, she's also got the boobs and you don't, so that's another difference.
I
And
try to get fake
welcoming
ones.
Although
and
these days you could have anything, really.
That is
yeah,
true.
yeah, very true. And that brings us to our lovely guest, Lenny from A Rising Force. It is so good to see you and to meet you. Welcome to Front Row Promotions.
Thank you so much for having us. I
You are
appreciate it.
more than welcome. So tell us a little bit about yourself for those of our viewers that might not know who you are. Why should we know you, and who is A Rising Force?
Oh, I'm just a guy. I play guitar in a really cool rock band. Um, no, actually, I'm Lenny DiMancari. I'm the lead guitar player, songwriter, producer of A Rising Force. We signed a record deal last year with Darkstar, which is part of Sony and Universal Records.
Wow.
Before that, we were on the Highball music label, and then our owners passed
Cool.
away from COVID. So our latest single couldn't get released, and then we redid it with our video, and we actually put a tribute to Bill Chavis at the very end of the video because he was the one that
Oh,
signed us
yeah.
early on in 2020, right before the pandemic. We got signed.
Awesome.
Been a lifelong musician. I'm with ESP Guitars, endorsed by them. Um, New album's doing very well. We spent 8 weeks on the Billboard charts with our first single, Believe. So that was pretty cool. That hit the top 200. There you go. And hopefully that's enough. There's more.
That's
I just don't
awesome.
want
No,
to. I don't
but
want to be that guy.
it's
It's
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned Believe, actually, because I was going to ask you about that a little bit later on. But since you brought it up now, that's got to be my favorite song by you guys, A Rising Force. And I was really curious. Like, I love how it flows from start to finish. Just everything about that song is pure magic. Can you tell us about sort of the writing process behind that song, like what went into it, and what was the inspiration behind it?
Well, we had written 2 albums worth of material for the first record that we released with Undertow.
Okay.
When our singer left, our original singer left to just pursue more time with his family and do some other things.
Mm-hmm.
We hired David Watson, who was with Kill Ritual, and he had toured the world with Iced Earth. So I wanted to go a little bit heavier. So I had all of these ideas kind of in the can. And Believe was just something I was just messing around in a drop D, and then I hit the drop pedal by Digitech, and I went to drop C, and I said, boy, that sounds really heavy there. I want to keep it there. The lyrics came kind of naturally. During the pandemic, we were all locked down. So every song has a little aspect of the pandemic on it.
Sure. Yeah.
But Believe is the one where, you're sitting there, you're bored. In the music business, we were the first ones to close and the last ones to open and be able to perform again. So I was flipping channels on DirecTV, and all of a sudden you find that block of religious channels, and everybody's talking about, I believe, send me money, I believe, support our plastic church, I believe. And it just stuck. So I
Right.
kind of wrote the whole song in about 20 minutes.
Wow.
And then David and I refined it and made it a little heavier with some darker chords. So
I love it. No, that's such a great song, and I'm very happy you could share that with us. Now, I'm also curious to know about the name of Rising Force. Myself and my co-host, as well as Angel and a bunch of our followers, we're all very curious about that. We just think it's such a cool name. How did you stumble across the name?
It was totally accidental. Our original drummer and bass player and I were in a band called Dare Force, which is a Minneapolis institution for many years. I joined Dare Force and spent about 10, 11 months with them. And I just could not get along with the lead singer, guitar player. I tried. It was just murder. So one day he had just said the wrong thing at the right time. And I just said, F you. And I left. And I thought, well, if I'm going to stick it up his ass with the band because he wasn't very nice to me,
Right.
I'm going to take his bass player and his drummer, and then we're going to call it a rising force because we're going to rise above Dare Force. Only to find out that, everyone started throwing other things at us like, oh, that was Yngwie Malmsteen's band. And I said, Boston was a city before it was a rock band. So
Yeah.
nice try, So that's how we came up with it. So we wanted to rise above what we were doing before.
That is
And it worked
awesome.
out. I think it worked out,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. No, that's awesome. What a freaking cool story. All right, Angel, I'm going to send it over to you. I think it's that time that we hear from, the angel from the heavens. So, Angel, talk to us. What do you got?
No, I just want to say it's great to actually have you on. Being okay, you wrote 2 albums worth of material. How did you decide what to put on the record?
Well, we had been writing the first record as part of Dare Force, but I'd owned all the songs. I brought them to the band because our other guitar player wanted to put out another Dare Force album. And I thought, okay, let's make it different. Because nothing against the band, but the first couple records were really pretty good. And then the next one sounded kind of like the last 2. And then Firepower sounded totally off base. And I kind of went, okay, let's try to bring this together. And, it was really hard and to have 2 lead guitar players in the band at the same time, thinking that the other thing was better. I was very humble about what I do, so I wound up taking a back seat to a lot of these songs, but then suddenly I kind of got pushed out of that lead role that I was used to. So I kind of, things wear on you and they wear on you, and eventually you just say, forget it. We had written all these songs. I had about 6, maybe 7 for the new record that were in the can. And then ideas, you're driving, you flip on your phone, you start singing a melody, and then you save it. Then you go back to it like 2 weeks later and go, wow, that's cool. I think I'll write something around that. So that's how we kind of came up with it. So when we got Dave, our new singer, he was also a songwriter. We hired another lead guitar player, Billy Schlump, who's also a good songwriter. He had just left his other band. And so suddenly we had 5 writers in the band. So we could all work off of each other and get the best out of each other in the studio, So does that explain it, or did I go off?
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
that explains it pretty good. We know that more things are opening up now with live shows. So can we see you guys actually do more shows going outside of Minnesota to other markets?
Well, we did the Tesla tour this year. That was really good for us and
Oh,
really
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
We finished with them in July, I think it was. And then we did some shows with Firehouse and Warrant and Bret Michaels.
Yes.
And where else did we play? We played with Kix. Our last Tesla show was, I think, June 26th. I might be wrong. Maybe the 28th. And that was back in Minnesota at Lakes Jam, and that was great. That had 7,500 people. So what was really neat about going out right when our album hit, right when our single was on Billboard, we were out with Tesla, and we were playing in front of sold-out shows. So we sold a lot of merch and a lot of units. Then after that, we did a few more shows in July, a few more shows we did one with Every Mother's Nightmare in August, some friends of ours that are on the same label. And then we played a few more shows in September. We have some time off now where we're writing the new record already.
Wow.
We don't play again until December, so I don't think the band will go back out on tour. Maybe some sporadic dates in the first quarter, but I don't think the band will go back out on tour until May, maybe April, you know.
Very cool. And speaking
Yeah,
of
so we
tour,
had, oh, I'm
speaking of
sorry.
touring- no. I was going to ask you, but just continue. I didn't know if you were done or
Oh,
not.
I mean, it was nice. We hit the Illinois, the Missouri, the Iowa, the Wisconsin. We hit so many markets, and it was just wonderful. We did a lot of interviews. I think our video is up over 67 or 66,000 views now, I believe. We're just getting ready to release the next single here next month, or actually this month. Geez, it is this month already. Last interview, I said, yeah, we're going to release the single next month, and it's next month. So in the next few weeks, we'll release the next single. So
Very cool. And speaking of touring, if you could go on tour with, let's say, a month with any one other band, who would it be?
oh, let's see. For a really fun tour, I think it would be awesome to be part of Judas Priest tour.
Oh, good one.
Yes.
Because I
Love it.
think, I know that, who was it that was on tour with them? Why can't I think of their name? Boy, it's escaping me. They sing all these military songs. They're all war songs about true life events. I wish I could remember the name of it. It's on the tip of my tongue. It'll come to me halfway through the interview. I'll go, oh, it's them.
Yeah.
But I think Judas Priest or Iron Maiden, those would be the two that would be the funnest. You know,
Oh, that's awesome.
I think our music would work with them. It worked with Tesla. It was crazy. I mean, we have some pretty heavy songs on these first two albums, but we also have some really good commercially viable hard rock that kind of falls into that. It could be classic. It could sound active. It could sound current, you know.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Now, who inspires you musically? Like, what inspired you to sort of start this kind of a career?
Well, that's crazy you asked that because today is the anniversary of Eddie Van Halen
Eddie.
passing away
Oh,
2 years
yes.
ago today. And when I went to college to become an entertainment lawyer. I got tickets to see Van Halen on their Van Halen 2 tour.
Mhm.
And the girl I was interested in went with me, and we sat in the second row.
Right.
And when I saw Eddie play, that was what changed my life. And I said, you know, I don't think law school's on the cards. So then I worked even harder to go out and start playing in club bands. And in the Midwest, you could get away with it. You could play 7 nights a week and make money.
Wow.
So you could play Sunday through Monday, you know.
Right.
And then you get a house gig that would be Monday through Saturday, you know. So I toured the whole Midwest for a long time. A lot of states, saw a lot of real estate I never thought I'd see
Yeah.
in a
Well, I mean,
in a
let's talk
station
about
wagon.
that. Let's talk about Eddie for a second. I mean, Eddie was such a huge inspiration for a lot of people, you know, to want to pick up a guitar and learn. And you know, he influenced my brother. My brother picked up a guitar and was influenced by Eddie. One of his first songs that he ever played, I believe, was Panama, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
Have you ever met Eddie? Have you
No.
been able to actually speak to him? No.
No, I never did. No,
Oh,
never got close to the closest I got to the Van Halen guys was working with Sammy Hagar a few years ago, and he had
Okay.
Michael Anthony on bass. And I
Oh.
got to say hi to Michael. You know, that was it. That's as close as I've gotten. That's my brush with fame with anybody associated with Van Halen. You know, other than Sammy, who joined after David left.
Yeah.
You know,
And what about songs and albums? Like, what stood out for you as far as Van Halen goes?
I think the first time we have this really great eclectic rock station here in Minnesota called KQ, and the first time I heard Eruption into You Really Got Me, their version of the Kinks, I kind of looked at my receiver on my old DLK 1.5 speakers that I worked at a Burger King to get. So I had a nice stereo system back then. And I just said, what the hell was that? And then I immediately went up and I bought the first Van Halen record. And when they announced that Van Halen 2 was coming out, I sat in line, and I think it was on Tuesdays you could get a new release back then. I'm a little older. Now it's Fridays. Is that right? It was Tuesdays, right?
It used to be Tuesday. We used to line up at Tower Records or wait for Tower Records to open up at 12:01 when you can go ahead and buy the record. That was the earliest you can get it.
Right. 10 o'clock. What was it? I think it was Sam Goody music.
Yep, Sam Goody, Tower Records.
I think that was where I used to, that or the Wax Museum in St. Paul. Yeah. So that was it. I mean, and I was just talking to one of my friends about it, and Alex Skolnick, who's also on the ESP roster.
Oh, yeah, I love Alex.
Alex did a really nice tribute on his Facebook page. You should go read it. You know, he actually shows the Frankenstein guitar that he bought. Yep.
I got to meet Alex about 14, 15 years ago when he was with, and I don't know if he's still with them or not because I haven't been around there in a while, but Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they played in Toronto. Alex,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and funny, we bonded over the fact that he worked with a mutual friend of ours. If he's watching, hey, Juan Coronado. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. Alex was such a nice guy.
He's so humble.
Oh, absolutely.
He's just humble. I love humble guys in the music business. I mean, I like guys that, you know, you wonder if they're Eric Clapton. They don't walk into the room and tell you that they are. You know, I would rather meet guys like that, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Angel, let's kick it back up to you. I think that's Jay's line. I stole that. Sorry. Angel, over to you.
That's all right. I'll be sure to relay the message.
There you go.
I'm trying to get more in the light here, that's it.
I was just going to say as well, we had a comment from one of our fans says that she can't see you.
Oh, hold on. Let me fix that. Let me see if I can.
Lenny's dressing up as a vampire right now. He's lurking in the darkness.
Well, how's that? Is that better?
Bit better.
You can see I'm in the catacombs of the basement here of my house. You know?
That's all right.
Amy, let us know. We got Amy watching.
Is that better, Amy?
There you go. Cool stuff. Angel, over to you.
Besides Van Halen, what other bands or musicians influenced you?
Musically, I think I was very lucky because I grew up in a house full of sisters. So I grew up with my oldest sister listening to Elvis and the Beatles.
Oh.
And my second oldest sister was the Beatles and 50s music was always played in our house for some reason. And my second oldest sister and then my youngest sister introduced me to Jimi Hendrix and Zeppelin and Janis Joplin, Jethro Tull. Really, really great stuff when I was a kid. In fact, my sister Gina, who passed away many years ago, she bought me Are You Experienced by Hendrix on vinyl and Deep Purple Made in Japan for my birthday, and spoiled me rotten with Led Zeppelin Houses of the Holy and Zoso and Presence. I think I had every single Led Zeppelin record at one time. So those were the things that I listened to. And then I saw Eddie play guitar. But ironically, I've never used a Van Halen lick on any album that I've ever done. Just because everybody was copying those licks. And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to. If you're going to steal, change it enough. David Lee Roth said it best. He said, if you're going to steal something, change it enough to call it your own so they can't come after you, you know? So.
Yeah. And Paul Stanley said something very similar to that. I was listening to an interview that Kiss had done. I believe it was Jay Leno that was interviewing them. And basically what he said is, we had a lot of people being influenced by us and our music. But then what the coolest part about it is that they take our music, it inspires them, but then they go on to create their own style. And he mentioned specifically Lenny Kravitz, who's always been influenced by Kiss and what they do. But Lenny went on to create his own musical style, which is the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, I just thought that was cool. What was the first concert you ever attended?
Well, they were all in the same year. 1978, it was the Eagles with Steve Miller and Pablo Cruz at the Mets Stadium, the old outdoor baseball park where the Minnesota Twins used to play, and then they leveled it and it became the Mall of America. And then they built them another stadium or two down the road. And then that same summer, I saw Kiss at the Met Center. Actually, wait a minute. Maybe it was it was the Civic Center. And then Van Halen in the fall. So it was like my whole life changed, right then. You can't go in the box. I got a cat in the box. There you go.
Okay, now I'm just going to go to the board here for a second because it looks like
the board.
A couple of questions.
Questions are free until 10 o'clock,
What's that?
I said questions are free until 10 o'clock.
Okay. Duly noted, guys.
Thanks.
Duly noted. All right, so we got a lot of people chiming in. Again, we got Amy chiming in, got Sherry chiming in. She says hello to everybody. Now, she did ask, is there a story behind the song Believe, and what would it be? I know we already covered that, but is there any more that you can share with us?
Well, when you watch the video and you listen to the lyrics are pretty much about all of the television preachers that begged for money and wanted you to believe, but then many of those preachers actually fell from grace. Jim Bakker, Joel Osteen got investigated, I think, at one time. Jimmy Swaggart, they all got busted, I think Baker was the worst. I mean, didn't he make a 50-foot Jesus somewhere and spend all the money from the PTL club, and they actually investigated him and threw him in jail for that. So it was kind of a left and right on that song. And the video, we went a completely different direction. We went really dark with it and went into demonology and the occult and Ouija boards and rituals and things like that. And at the very end of the video, if you really pay attention, the girl wakes up from the nightmare. Wow. So it's the same girl running through the woods with a torch, being chased by Goat Man, of all things.
Goat Man. That's awesome. No, that's really cool. I did see the music video only once, but not enough, sort of to pay really, really close attention to it. So I'm going to go back and watch it again and really focus on that. Now we have another comment. Our dear friend Amy, she's a very huge supporter of the show. She wants to know, Lenny, do you like any Aerosmith songs?
Yeah, I think I'd have to go deeper. I liked, the vintage Aerosmith stuff, and then I loved their comeback, Plus, that's funny you mentioned Aerosmith. Got a chance to meet Steven Tyler when Dokken was touring with Aerosmith on the Done with Mirrors tour. And I had gotten to know a couple of the members of Dokken through my record producer back from 1987 was a drummer from Y&T. And he had introduced me to Jeff and Mick, and met Don, never really got good with Don. I don't know why. We just didn't really connect. But Jeff and I and Mick and I got along great. Got to meet my guitar idol, George. That's weird. You're sitting on a tour bus and all of a sudden it's like the lights come on. It's like, wow. And George walks in and goes, hey, everybody. And that was it. And just sat down and just, very quiet, soft-spoken, incredibly intelligent human being. I have to say that. All those guys were great. But meeting Steven Tyler, I think I still have the ticket stub he signed somewhere from, boy, that had to be 86, 87 maybe, Done with Mirrors, 88? I don't know.
Probably 86, because
86?
Probably 85, 86.
Okay.
But What was
very-
that experience like? Like, what
Yeah,
was
I
it?
was just gonna
'Cause
say that.
I've been wanting to meet him, so I just want to know.
He's
what,
so short.
really?
I think yes. I that was the first thing that I know. It's like meeting Prince. You think Prince is this larger than life guy, and then he walks into a music store and he's like 5'3". You know, when he was alive. I mean, yeah. But the same. Steven Tyler is very short. You know, he was very very nice though. I will say that it was short. It wasn't like we hung out and went fishing together, but it was a, hey, how you doing? To go back to Amy's question, I would take Rocks from Aerosmith as one of, and Toys of the Attic as two of my favorite Aerosmith records. And then I would go to Pump
Yes.
and Permanent Vacation as my next two favorites. And that live bootleg was pretty good because I got to see them in their drugged out state, where I think it was here in, if I remember, I might be off, but I think it was here in Minneapolis that Tyler punched Perry right in the face during the middle of the show. You know?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, they were kind of whacked out on drugs back then. But that's not, it's public knowledge. I mean, they've
I didn't
talked
know
about it
that.
in interviews.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he whacked him right in the face. just
I mean,
just
I know
Oh.
about those stories where Steven fall off the stage. I heard that, but never did I hear about him punching Harry in the face.
yeah, look it up. I think it was here in Minneapolis during the
Okay.
Draw the Line tour that he actually cold cocked him right on stage.
That's awesome. We have another question from Sherry. She says, on the album Eclipse, which song is your favorite to play?
Live. You know, I the one that means the most to me is Say Goodbye, which is towards the end of the album. That was written about a friend of mine that was battling alcoholism. He finally came around, but he was going through a really tough time with his marriage. And that was one of the songs that Billy, our other guitar player, and I wrote here in my basement studio. We just sat down with our little practice amps and started grooving on it. And then I started humming the chorus to Billy. He goes, dude, that's cool. And I said, okay. So I wrote it down. And then again, songs can either come over a week or 2 weeks or a month, or they come in like 20 or 30 minutes. And that one, I just kind of went to that experience with my friend Paul and kind of wrote out the whole song about Paul Remillard. So
Right.
that's my favorite one to play live. That's probably my favorite song on the record too.
Awesome.
It's hard to pick a real favorite because
It's-
you
yeah,
feel
it's
like
like
your
pick
your
your
songs are your
favorite
kids, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's like I like that one.
Awesome. That's really cool. All right. So, fans, keep those questions coming. We're going to come back to you in just a little while. Right now, I want to send it back over to our beautiful Angel Alamo, who's, I think, wait, that way? The camera's
Nope,
Yes.
the other way. Nope,
That way.
no, the other way.
Oh my God, you're fucking with me. There we go. Angel, over to you.
That's right. We could drop an
Oh.
F-bomb here because it's internet.
There you go.
Yeah, that is true. And we don't got Tipper Gore to say you can't fucking say that.
Is she still alive?
Yeah, yeah, she's still alive.
I remember seeing her on TV going, man, how can you be that stuffy? And all that PMRC stuff did was drive
Unbelievable.
people to buy records, that had a
Yes.
parental warning sticker on it.
That's why.
That's
why we bought
marketing.
records. Like, that's why we bought records, because it was cool. I felt bad for Al Gore.
Yeah, well, you had to wake up. Well, yeah, you had to wake up.
Ah,
Yeah.
Tipper Gore.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there. No, I was going to go there, but I'm not.
Okay. Here's a question about touring. When you go out on tour, do you ever put a song on the set list just to kind of test it out, to see how fans react to it, to see if it's something that you guys can maybe put on another record?
No,
Okay.
no.
Just like that.
There's so much piracy out
Right.
there, and
True.
everybody it just seems like we live in such an instant gratification society now these days. It just seems that everybody wants to be first. Not everyone. I'd rather have our band. Our band has a real nice craftsman mentality.
Right.
about putting things together. I applaud the guys that can put out single after single after single. That's amazing. That's great. But you've got to put a piece of yourself in those songs, in order to resonate with your fans. You want to write something that someone can relate to, and it's like the day, to me, being a Guitar Hero out there these days, I just don't know if it exists much anymore. I think the real Guitar Heroes, the pioneers, were, the guys in the 60s and 70s and 80s. And then the 90s, they tried to wash away the Guitar Hero, and it kind of went underground, but you still had guys like Marty Friedman and Jason Becker and guitarists from Dream Theater,
Yep.
Yeah. Why did I go in that direction? I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Angel, anything further from you?
Okay. Damn, I forgot the darn question. I had it. It'll come to me. I'll send it back up to you.
Remember I told you that band was going to come to me in the middle of the interview?
Yep.
Sabaton.
Oh, good one.
Sabaton was the
Yes.
one that toured with Judas Priest.
Gotcha.
I couldn't, right? I told you right at the beginning of the interview, I said, the band's going to come to me just like that on the tip of my tongue, and boom, there it is.
Oh, yep. And the question just came to me. When it comes to putting the set list together, how do you guys collaborate on putting together what songs you guys are actually going to play live?
Well, it depends on the show. I mean, with Tesla, we had 30, 35 minutes. That was it. Well, we did some of these festival shows. We got an hour. Some of the headliner shows that we got to do, we get 90 minutes. We're doing 90 minutes. We're basically doing 2 albums plus maybe extending a song here or there. Or Peter gets to do a really neat drum solo. He's pretty incredible to watch live. He plays his drums with a lot of feeling. So we said, hey, take a solo in there,
You have restored my faith in rock and roll by just saying those words, because like nowadays we just see the drummers, like the drummer in Whitesnake, Bobby Rock, Leaders Ford's drummer, doing drum solo. So it's nice to hear that bands that are coming up now are still doing drum solos, because they're still enjoyable to hear.
Well, yeah, I agree. I mean, showcase your band. You have to give your audience something to talk about the next day or chat about online with.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, because like Tommy Aldridge at M3, the thing is just doing the solo, then playing it with his hands. I think Bobby Rock did something similar, but it was just mind blowing just to appreciate the musicianship and just how talented some of these drummers are.
Peter's got a gong. His setup is very similar to John Bonham from Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
He's got the big
Yeah.
gong. He's got
Thank you.
timpani. He does. And everywhere we went, they're like, oh my God, do you play the gong? Yes, I do. And he uses it. Yeah. He
Very cool.
opens the show with it. He uses it in his drum solo. He uses it like another piece of the instrument puzzle. It's not a huge flashy kit, not a Neil Peart type kit. There's enough there to make it work for the songs.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad we have a drum tech to help
You
him set
mentioned
it
Neil
up.
Peart. Like he's probably got one of the most sophisticated drum kits I think I've ever seen in my life. That's insane. Angel, anything further from you?
No, it's just happy that bands are still doing the drum solos and guitar solos and so on.
I don't
Absolutely.
solo. Billy solos. We let Billy solo. Billy's like having a little miniature Nuno Betancourt in the band.
Mm.
Me, I'm like, I just like to lay back and write great songs and play good rhythm and do what it takes in a guitar solo. I'm not trying to set the land speed record. I just want to play with feeling,
So
If you can whistle it, then it's a good solo. Like Believe, that's me.
Yeah.
You can whistle that solo,
So
Great.
when it comes, I remember I interviewed a songwriter. Well, it was actually last night. It was Jim Valance, and
Yeah.
he said that the way that a song starts is 2 people in a room with the guitar. So my question to you is, when you guys are starting together on a song, do you ever like just come across a song where you're like, nah, that's not going to work, and just move on to something else? How's like the meat and bones of your songwriting?
We'll write 2 or 3 different versions of it.
Cool.
And the nice thing about our band is I'll go write with Billy, or David and I can write a song, or Dave and Billy can write a song. Pete writes music. Brian has great songs in him as well. We do a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1. We're like old school when we go in the recording studio as well. We call it the circle of death. We have the drum kit in the live room. We all have headphones on. We all have ISO booths with our amps. And we have David in an isolation booth, and we do it live. And then we come back and we fix things that may not have been perfect. We never wanted a perfect record. We wanted records that just had a good feel to them. There's mistakes on both records, but I don't want a perfect sounding record. It's just, that's so vanilla, I want something that you go, wow, he kind of changed that guitar part. And then under your breath, you can go, yeah, I kind of missed it. Oops,
Oh boy.
But then you got to go back and relearn the mistake, which is harder, But Eddie Van Halen said it best. He goes, if you make a mistake, make it twice, then they're going to think you did it,
I like that. Yeah, that's very good. I like that. Good stuff. All right, so Angel, I think it's about that time where we do our fun segment that everybody loves. All the fun, silly questions. So I'm going to start this one off, and then I'm going to send it over to you, of course. My favorite question to ask, Lenny, in this segment is that if you were stranded on a desert island, what 5 items would you want to bring with you?
I'd want to bring my wife.
Okay.
My dogs. But then that would be 4. So,
well, we can
can you loop dogs into like dog with a like S? Yeah.
You got it.
Lots of Chobani lime green yogurt, key lime pie yogurt, and a lot of bottled water,
Right. Good stuff.
And a radio.
And a radio.
And a radio.
Awesome. Now, this is one question that Lisa usually asks, and I always get a kick out of this one. If you were in a hot tub time machine and you went to set the dial, where would you go? What would you do?
I go back to see the Beatles at the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Ooh, good one.
Yes.
What year was
Just
that?
to experience that. Was that 65 or was that 60? What year was that?
Know.
That's a good question.
I'd have to look it up.
Okay, people watching our show, fans, if you know the year that
Or Google it.
happened. No, I'm not Googling it. I'm not.
No, I'm saying fans can Google it.
Well, they
Yeah, it was a 65 on the when they came out and did I Want to Hold Your Hand and Love Me Do. I think that was 64 or 65. So
that one. Oh, Amy says 65. Thank you, Amy. You got it. It's 65.
yeah, that would have been neat to be in the audience for that. Of course, you wouldn't have been able to hear the band over the screaming girls, but just to be able to say that you were there, My sister actually saw them when they played the Met Center. So,
oh, very cool.
She actually got to go, and they played outside, so at the Met Stadium. So,
awesome. All right, I'm going to go back to the board here because we have another question from Sherry. And on that note, fans, keep your
is it the same Sherry or is this
same Sherry?
Wow.
Same Sherry.
2 for 2.
Love Sherry. We love you. We love you. But yeah, keep the questions coming. But send us some fun questions. We're doing this segment right now. We want to hear from you as well. But Sherry wants to know, Lenny, how many guitars do you own, and do you have a favorite one?
Good question.
Oh boy. Okay. I think I have 16.
16. Uh-huh.
And I think 12. Well, 14 of those are ESPs.
Okay.
My favorite one that I have that I play, and it's weird because I name all my guitars so that they get put in the right case by our tech, is the one that I call Kill Whitey. And it's the white ESP EC401. You know?
Oh, very cool. And is that
Yeah.
nearby? Can you show us or?
Let me go get it. I may have to move. If you want to just come with.
Yeah,
Let
sure.
me see. All right, we'll go to the guitar room. Hold on. It's a mess. My wife's gonna say, "Oh my God, you brought him down here." Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, look, there's a Marshall. Let's see. ESP, 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 ESP. There's like a whole bunch of ESPs down here. Oh, Cat. Les Paul. These are all ESPs too. That's a 1986 vintage Marshall. Let me see if I can find Kill Whitey.
That's a really funny name for a guitar.
Well, it came from Tommy Boy, I think. I think it. Oh, let me see. This is hard. Oh, look at that, right on top. That was not planned. Let's see if I can get the.
That's what she said.
Hey now. Okay. Can you see it?
I thought I was bad. Yep.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yep. This is my favorite one to play. That's it.
Nice.
Can we see the top of the neck there? Let me see it.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it now.
EC401.
Ooh,
Yep, I love that one. The
beautiful.
other one I really love is my EC1000. See, I ordered one from ESP right before the pandemic,
Right.
and then the guitar got stuck in port, so I didn't see the guitar for over a year. Oh, this is another one. That's another one.
Oh, I love
That's
the
it.
color on that.
That's a Tiger Eye. I'm trying to find it. I hope this isn't boring to you guys.
No,
No, not at all.
Not at all.
And then he took us to the guitar room. I think it's this one. Let me see. I think this is the one I played in Believe video. Let's see. No, ouch. That was my thumb. No, this is my second favorite right here.
Ooh, look at that. That is gorgeous.
All right. That one is named Amber Alert, just so you know, because it's made in amber color.
Yeah.
I would have to set the phone down to find the other ones, but there you go. How's that?
That is awesome.
Oh,
Thank you for sharing
look at-
that with us.
Look at that old guy. Oh, there's an old band. All right.
Oh, I love it.
If you notice, there aren't any gold or platinum records on the wall. The best I ever did was tin and copper. So, all right.
I have another question. Sherry.
Geez, Sherry.
The same Sherry.
It's okay.
She says, did your army take care of the critter?
Oh, I know the Sherry. I have not heard, and this is a funny story. We take our plants in the fall from outside, and we actually brought one of the bigger plants in, and I think a chipmunk was in it.
Ooh.
Still, so it got loose in the house. So the cats and the dogs, I think they got it because I have not heard a peep in
no.
over a week. But the unfortunate thing is, I don't know where it is in the house
Oh,
if it
no.
died. So we will find it. Yeah, eventually. So.
Eventually, yeah. Angel, it's your turn.
Fun question.
Yes. All the fun questions.
No, I was gonna ask. Okay, if you're stuck on a deserted island,
Another one?
What are your 3 albums that you have?
Oh boy.
You stole that damn question from me and you tweaked it. How dare you, Angel?
I stole that. You're the one that asked that question.
If I always ask the
Um,
question, if you're stranded on a desert island,
I said, what 3 albums, not 5 items?
I know you tweaked my damn
I
question.
tweaked it and made it my
We
own.
bicker, Lenny. We
I'm doing
bicker like this all
Right.
the
I'm
time.
doing what Paul Stanley suggested.
Yeah.
So
sure
you can't
are.
sue me for it.
Sure you are. Anyway, Lenny, what
Well, you
got?
can't sue me because you're in Canada.
Yeah,
Um,
but Rock and Pod's happening in a few months, so I mean, you can get one of these.
I think to answer your question for records, I'd have to go with Led Zeppelin's "The Song Remains the Same" soundtrack,
Cool.
Ooh, that's a good
because you
one.
get a piece of everything on that one. I think I'd go with "Frampton Comes Alive" too, because there is not a bad song on that album.
Nice.
To go on and then to go on the rock side, I would have to go with, boy, one of my favorite bands. I would have to go with Whitesnake, and I would have to go with the Love Hunter record, because it was such a great record.
That's
It'd be a tie. It'd be Love Hunter or Saints and Sinners. Because on Saints and Sinners, you have the original version of Here I Go Again
Yep.
and Crying in the Rain, which wound up on the '87 Whitesnake album.
Mhm.
But there's just that's when Coverdale had that really just beautiful bluesy voice. That's what attracted me to Dave, our singer, because he reminded me of John Bush from Armored Saint and David Coverdale of Whitesnake and Purple. So yeah, it was like first time I heard him sing, I went, "That's my guy. That's going to be the guy."
Yeah. Very cool. Now, what is the weirdest question that you've ever been asked in an interview?
This year or over the years?
Any interview could have happened this year, last year, anything.
I can't. That's a hard one because I don't think there have been any really weird questions. There have been snarky, goofy questions, right? But nothing really bizarre.
Right.
I can't think of one. Can we come back to that one? It's like we're on a game show. Can I come back?
Yeah,
Pass.
absolutely.
Can I go pass? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like $100,000 pyramid pass.
No, that. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay, so then how about this one? What is the weirdest thing you've ever encountered while doing a show or while being on tour?
Full frontal nudity by someone that should not have been fully frontally nuded.
Oh
The
shit.
the
No.
mute button should have been on that one. Yeah. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And it was accepted. And I was like, I'm just going, hey, yeah, it's great. You're naked. Yeah. Okay. You're like, there's a lot of you naked. There's a whole lot of you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy. And we got questions on the board. Let me go back to that real quick. Hold on.
Sherry, you can hold your questions until a later date.
Okay, so I know Lisa just chimed in and she says, yeah, we got all those questions, Lisa Lou. We got you. Actually, one just popped up from
Oh,
Amy.
the cat just got me.
The what?
Oh, the cat just got me. He was scratching his claws on the back of my chair, and my shirt kind of came up a little bit, and he just kind of got the skin.
Oh.
So it's okay. It's a flesh wound. I'll get over it. I'll be okay.
Well, one question just came up from Amy. Sorry. One question came up from Amy just now. She says, what band do you want to tour with that you haven't already?
Boy, there's so many good tours going on right now, and a lot of them are already spoken for. Yeah, it'll be really fun to go out with Alex's band Testament.
Ooh, good one.
That would be really fun. I don't think the Metallica fans would. Well, maybe they would. That would be a fun one too. That'd be a fun tour. But Testament would be great, because I love Testament.
Awesome. Okay, so
Or Dream Theater. There's another one that would be really fun.
That's a good one.
I gave you 3, Amy. How about that?
Hey, Amy, feel lucky. I'm just
That was a bargain.
yeah, no, to go back off of your previous answer about the full frontal nudity thing, I witnessed something. Shut up, Angel.
It just circles back. You see, and we're back to
Well, no, because
naked.
It reminded me of a funny story, something that I witnessed at a Scorpion show, I would say about 6 years ago. So I was fairly close to the stage. The section in front of us was all like general admission, right? Anyway, so they had a ramp that came halfway out through that section, and I remember Klaus Main was up there with Rudolph, and this woman, about a few rows behind the stage there, she lifted her top up, and they noticed it. Angel. Klaus Main and Rudolph noticed it,
Right.
and they shook their heads and they walked the other way.
So I'm taking it gravity was bad that day?
I guess so.
Or they were not of a different size.
But the reaction from the band was the funniest part. Oh, okay. And they walked the other way.
Damn, Tommy Lee would have had a different reaction.
I had a funny moment on stage I will share with you. I was
All right.
playing a festival. I suppose it was almost 8 years ago. And my wife was in the audience standing next to my ex. And on the other side was my good friend Kurt. And I looked over at her. I gave her one of these and I said, I love you. And then Curtis looks at me and goes, I love you too. And I'm like this going, no, not her. No.
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold.
Well, it's okay.
So
That was, there's one of your weird moments on stage that you never forget. And he reminds me, he goes, you remember when you whispered you love me from stage? I said, yes, I do, Curtis. I do. So if he's watching right now, Curtis, Kim, hi. No.
All right, let's go back to the board, see if there's anything else. No, we don't have anything else. Angel, maybe I'm going to steer it back to you. Do you have anything else that you would like to ask? Any fun questions that come to mind?
I'm sorry, the full frontal thing still.
Are you traumatized?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that
you
was,
traumatized. You're a boob man.
I know.
There were a lot of boobs
Oh,
in the
good.
form of 2. Yeah, it
In the
was,
form of 2.
yeah.
I
There's a
guess-
lot of that.
I guess, okay, you're going to go back on the road in April. You mentioned you're working on the next record. When can fans expect like a single from it or anything?
Well, we're going to work. I didn't let you finish your question. Sorry.
No,
I
that was
feel
the
bad.
question.
We're going to work 1 or 2 more singles off this album because it's only been out since June.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really, in a sense, trying to. Well, we have a kind of an overachiever attitude when it comes to our music. We want to stay ahead of it. And that way, if we have a nice group of 12, 15 really good songs we can choose from, and then we can just, chop, cut, paste, see what we need to do for that record. I'm anticipating we'll have the new album out by June or July of next year. We have some really good songs already. I'm really surprised. Our guitar player was over at my house Saturday. We were working on a couple songs, and one of them in particular is called Disaster Piece. That's a pretty good song, and it's a true story about somebody we know. So I like writing about personal experiences.
That's what a
And
lot
just
of
change
artists
it
do.
enough,
I think it's really
you know.
cool how you guys just pull from life and you take that and you run with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that many, when I was in Hurricane Alice, that first album was all about the heartache of a girl at college, So I wrote the whole thing about her. And then eventually get away from boy meets girl, boy loses girl, girl makes fun of you, and you kind of move on to better songs. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a nice thing about us is we have time, and our label is very cool. They're not pushing us to do this or do that. It's a great record label. I have to say that. You know?
It's awesome.
Very lucky. I mean, to be able to still do this and do a dozen plus records over a career, and the last two got pretty highly recognized. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm very, very thankful to be able to do this and to be able to do things like this. I mean, that's makes you feel good.
Absolutely. What's the craziest thing on your bucket list?
To do.
Yeah. Shut up, Angel.
Yeah, I got to watch the crazy stuff because I just got out of a boot. I had a boot on for the last 3 months.
Oh, no.
I had a stage accident. I wound up, and it wasn't anything stupid. I just turned wrong and I pulled the tendons out of my leg. So I'm not going to do any acrobatic stuff or jumps anymore on stage. Sorry to disappoint, You're like, if my dad was still alive, he'd say, "Hey, settle down, you're going to break a hip," I think the craziest thing on the bucket list, I certainly would like to drag race once.
Ooh.
That would be really neat to do a Formula One just once. That would be cool. Or be a passenger in that. I think that would be cool. To be able to say you did that, I think that would be cool. I'm not a skydiver guy. I hate flying, but I fly. I have to fly to Nashville this weekend.
Nice. We love Nashville.
Yes, we do.
I do too. It's one of my favorite trips of the year. And I get to bring the
come
missus with this time too, so that's cool.
Come to Rockin' Pod in March. I believe it's March 17th to the 19th. Nashville Rockin' Pod Expo.
Do you know where it's going to be held this year? Because wasn't it at the DoubleTree? I guess I'll have to look it up. I thought it was at the DoubleTree.
As well, I can tell you in a second. But as I'm looking that up, Angel, what's on your bucket list?
Love it in the elevator. Aerosmith. Hey, Steven Tyler inspired me to do it when I was 11, and it's been 30 plus years, so I'm still waiting to do it. So at some point, damn it.
Well, okay, but whatever happened to skydiving naked from an airplane?
And
she goes with the Motley Crue reference. There she is.
That is inspired by that. That's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. They have a company where you can skydive naked.
Let's hope it isn't the person who was in the first couple rows of that show I told you about.
And I like to land and have a body with a woman from outer space. That's how I want to kickstart my heart.
I like how you did that. That was kind of cool.
That's clever. I like that.
Look at how you bridged all those things together and just molded this beautiful little pottery piece and just capped it.
Hey, she asked.
I love it.
What about you? What's yours? What's on your crazy?
Question.
Yes.
I was hoping somebody would ask. So
well,
I have this fascination with anything to do with like space, outer space. This, all these little fun factoids. So I always said that if I had a few $1 million, I would love to take a trip on Blue Origin.
Wow, that would be cool.
Yeah.
The once in a lifetime. Either that, or I just become really chummy with Elon Musk and he can fork over the cash. That works too.
He's a genius. I think he's an alien, actually.
Yeah, he does kind of look like it a little bit. Him and the Facebook dude. Yeah.
Facebook dude. The Facebook dude.
Trying to figure out.
I don't think this goes against community standards.
No,
it doesn't.
We're okay. And it's not. We're not going to have some little COVID-19 thing pop up in the middle of this interview.
Oh gosh, no.
We wanted that.
He should get.
Glad that's over.
Yeah, if he ever gets divorced, he should date Tipper Gore.
Yeah.
That would be a weird yet workable couple, I think.
Yes.
Although he'd maybe have to step on a stool to get up. She's quite high, I think. Isn't she about 5'7", 5'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just
All right,
he's
so
just a little shit too, isn't he?
I'm not getting
Oh.
anywhere on this rock and pod thing. I have no clue where to look. But I'll
You know what?
figure
We'll look it up. That's cool. Yeah.
it.
Just have Lisa send it back to me.
There we go. I will definitely. Okay, so we are running out of time. We're coming up to an hour here. So we'll wrap things up here shortly. What advice do you want to give to musicians starting out? Like what would you tell them to sort of keep the momentum going and to never give up?
Listen to everybody. Don't, take a listen to your old music, listen to your new stuff, and whatever you do, try to be original. It's hard to be very original these days. A lot of things have already been done. They've been rehashed. They've been, there's only so many notes on the fretboard. But be original and write songs that people can relate to.
Right.
Right from your heart, because when you tell a story from your heart, people can relate to it. If you just write a story about something, they might not relate about it. I think that's that, and don't ever give up. I mean, these days. Oh, look who's back!
Hey! I figured I'd pop in and say hi and everything. So everything's going well.
Good. Listen, before we go any further,
It's
I
been
need to ask-
horrible, Lisa. You have no idea what they've put me through.
Oh, they
my
put you
God.
through some bad stuff. Oh no.
Yes.
I'm going to need therapy, and I'm
We
going to
talked
need.
about. Oh yeah, we
Yeah,
talked
you
about
promised him
trauma.
heaven, and we put him through hell.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your next title, Angel. There's your next title of a song.
That's a Bon Jovi reference, I think.
There you
Oh,
go.
well, see it. Like I said, a lot of it's already been done. So,
Yeah.
Oh, we have to do it with a twist.
Yeah, we kind of fucked
When you
up
say with a
Lenny's mind
twist,
here
I'm
because
terrified of what you're really
We're talking
mean by
about full
that.
frontal nudity and stuff. So I mean,
Right. And she's twisting things around, which I don't.
Twist.
now before we go any further, Lisa,
That
I need
looks
to
painful.
ask you. Angel, shut up for a minute. Okay.
nice.
All joking aside, Lisa, how's Tori doing?
She's doing much better. She's laying here and relaxing. She's feeling warm and cold. Her temperature's up and down. So she's going to get into a lukewarm bath, and that'll break her temperature. So,
Right. Oh,
but right now she's watching some Hey Arnold. Have you ever heard of Hey Arnold?
Yes.
That's what we're
Yep.
watching.
That's awesome. Well, we wish her the best, speedy recovery.
Yes.
Got
Get
this.
well.
Oh, thank
Absolutely.
you guys.
Absolutely.
You
Now,
you missed a fun interview, but family
Aw.
first. That's what I say.
Well, you are welcome to come back anytime, and we'll do another one, then another one, and you're more than welcome to play your music as well.
Yeah,
If you
Uh,
want to.
you mean live on the show?
Yeah, we
Oh,
encourage
I
that.
wonder how we would do that.
Mhm.
Okay,
There's always a
got an
way.
acoustic
No, there's a
guitar.
way.
Yeah, we could work on
Acoustically,
something.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Now, for those of our viewers and fans that want to look you up and follow you, Lenny, where can you and the band be found?
You can go to arisingforce.com. You can still get a few copies of the album by going to our merch store or T-shirts.
Oh, cool.
You can also get all the links, Bookface, Instagram, Twitter, which we are not really active on Twitter, even though Elon just bought it, didn't he? Or did they say no to it again? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's a soap
Yeah,
opera,
he's
right?
still-
I thought Elon bought it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still.
Maybe it'll be better. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a shithole anyway, so I just never really. I kind of went, yeah, look, I'm reading everybody's anger management classes right here, and next. It's like me and social media. I'd rather just use it as a tool than be one, on there. So
Now, do you have tank tops for a Rising Force shirts?
we have tanks, we have women's fashion, we have tanks, we have long sleeves. Our record label actually owns Integral Merch, and they just did these shirts for my company.
Wow, that's
And I
pretty
actually
cool.
I got to wear one today, and they're so comfortable.
10,
Nice.
10/13. No, Sammy Hagar's birthday.
That was his birthday. That's what I named the company after. Was Sammy.
Oh,
No.
Wow.
that's why I was looking at it. I'm like, that's Sammy Hagar's birthday.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I started the company, I think it was 18 years ago. I started the company and then merged it and then pulled it back and reopened the doors in 2010. So, yeah.
There you go. That's very cool.
So we do
Yeah.
tour support, national tours. I have a lot of national acts on our roster. And Nashville's trip this weekend is for me to go have meetings with other festivals all over the country. We all congregate in Nashville and we meet and we sit down and we have breakout sessions and there's festival management there. There's the AIBA conference is pretty big. I go every year. So
Sweet. Very cool. Very cool. I was going to say, if you have guitar picks, if you have guitar picks made with the 1013 Entertainment on it, I can make necklace. I can make some earrings.
Yeah, she does some.
you know,
awesome
we
stuff.
have a Rising
So-
Force earrings
Nice.
Ooh,
that we sell at our shows. I will
Nice.
ask Kat if she can dig a pair up. And
nice.
you send me an address, I'll mail you a pair. Okay?
Yes.
They're
Thank you
made
so
out of
much.
the guitar picks. They have our logos on it and everything.
I like
too.
that.
Yeah, that's your
Yeah.
Christmas gift from the band.
Yay.
Oh,
That
it's
makes
from,
me happy.
yeah.
Yeah.
My heart.
Yep. Do you want some too?
I would love some, sure.
Okay. Angel, are you a
so much.
guitar pick earring guy or no?
I like guitar picks.
I'll just send it.
I can make you a necklace, Angel.
There you go. Oh,
There.
that's so sweet.
Isn't it?
That
There's
doesn't
love
count-
in the
that doesn't
room.
count as a Christmas
There's
gift.
love in the room. Can you feel the love in the room?
Feel it. Feel it.
Oh,
can
yeah.
feel- I can
Then
feel
after we
the
go
love
off camera,
tonight.
they're gonna want to kill me again. They're gonna be like, "Damn you, Angel, you suck."
That's okay. It was fun. This was a fun interview. I like interviews like this that aren't stuffy. I've had a couple stuffy interviews where it's like, tell us about the record. It's like, oh my God, you know, what influenced you to write? Yeah, I get that, right? But some of the questions, this was really fun compared to some of the
Yeah.
other interviews.
We want
you
you
know?
to be happy and smile and ask some fun stuff and have some good
Yeah, I mean, I'm
times.
in the basement. You missed it. I showed a whole bunch of my guitars.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
sweet.
Showed the
the cat-
basement that's kind of messy.
Oh,
And the
we
cat-
don't
Told
worry
them that
about
I
that.
You know, that
named
really-
all my guitars. Kill Whitey, Andromeda,
Wow.
Amber Alert, Teabag.
Amber Alert. I like
mean,
that one.
I like that name, Teabag.
well, Teabag's the Honey Burst one. I couldn't. It's
Angel, what
in the
the
pile.
fuck?
Look at the cat claws coming.
Yeah, that's absolutely no. But Lenny, I really appreciate you saying that because our big thing here on Front Row Promotions is that our guests feel that their time was valued. I'm stealing that from Jay again, Angel.
Yes, I know that. I'm writing down the notes too.
Your time was
I'm
valued.
telling.
That you enjoyed the questions and that you just had a good time overall. That means a lot to hear you say that. So thank
Oh, it
you.
was very nice. Yeah, I mean, this was a very pleasant and nice experience together. And I appreciate Lisa you reaching out to me and Sherry getting
You're
a hold of you
welcome.
for that. You know.
You're very welcome.
So look for us. I guess next year, hopefully, if we can work it out with Tesla, hopefully we'll go out and do a couple weeks with those guys again because they were so much fun to go out on the road with.
Oh, that sounds really good.
And it's Mick's little brother playing drums for him, Mick Brown from
Yep.
Dokken. So,
No-
so
ooh,
Steve was just
nice.
like, I told him the story about being with Mick and saying, because Mick got his royalty checks from Tooth and Nail. He goes, dude, I got a new car. And we're like, yeah, what'd you get? And he goes, a Fiero. And Leonard looked at him and I go, dude, that's a girl's car.
a Barbie. It's a Barbie
then
car.
Steve-
Yeah.
And little Brown says, hey, I used to take that guitar when he was out on tour. I would take that car to high school and I'd put the windows down and act like I was all cool. So those are the fun things you get to do on tour with a band like Tesla. Is you get to hang out with those guys and you know their routine and the crews get along. It was really a wonderful experience, because I've had some non-wonderful experiences with touring bands. So not going to
Yeah.
name them, but there's been a few. So
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Lisa,
Mhm.
obviously you are going to get the last say on this one. So why don't you put a bow on it and let's call it a day. Lenny, thank you so much for joining us. Stay
Thank
on after we go
Cheers.
offline. Just absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yes. And you're welcome anytime to come back to Front Row Promotions. And Angel, you too. You can come back anytime. Thank you so
You're
much
gonna have
for filling in
YouTube?
for me.
Really?
You did that again. I fell right into it. When I say
You said
YouTube, he catches
See,
me.
she said it again.
Favorite U2 song, Angel? Quickly.
Not Elevation, the other one.
With or without you.
Hell no.
No,
I
not
hate
the
that
Joshua Tree. Go further back. Come
one.
on.
Not the Joshua Tree. The one I don't like is oh, her name is damn, I forgot the name of it.
Is it off Boy? Is it off
No,
October?
he says
Is it off
1, 2, 3, 14.
Vertigo.
Vertigo. I love
Vertigo?
that one. Yeah.
See, mine would be Gloria by U2. That was one of my favorite songs I ever did.
I'm not a huge U2 fan.
Neither am I.
I
Not
do
big on it.
I do like one of the Christmas songs that they did. The name escapes me.
Please come home for Christmas.
Yes, that's the one.
Don't
Baby,
ask me how I
Please
know.
Come Home. I love that version of it. Love it.
See, I listen to everybody, so that's somebody's got a TV really loud.
Oh, that's my daughter. She's watching the Arnold show, and she's
Oh,
not
hey,
feeling
Arnold.
well. Yeah, that's her show.
All right. Well, Lenny, again, thank you so much for joining us. Stay on for a minute after we go offline. If
Okay.
You don't mind.
Yep.
But Lisa, go ahead.
Yes.
It's your show. You put a bow on it.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming to Front Row Promotions. Thank you for coming to this interview, for seeing Lenny let me see if I can pronounce it. D. Mencari.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you so much, Lenny, for coming to the show.
I
Candy.
had an Asian interview say duck monkey, so that was interesting.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Oh
So
wow.
much. So crazy.
I know you get duck monkey, but I just said, yeah, that's what it is. It's Italian mallard is what it is. Yeah,
Gotcha. Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
And thank you, Candy, and for Angel running the show for me when I couldn't be here and everything. Share the love. Share the love. All right. Yeah.
I get that right.
Yeah. Make
Yeah,
two
you gotta
C's,
curve your fingers
and
a
then you
little bit.
put them together. Try to make the heart.
Okay.
Bend them in.
There you go.
And then you can make them dance. Yay!
Hey, somebody, listen, people that are still watching, our viewers, somebody get a shot of this. We can't
here.
take pictures right now. Somebody get a shot of this. Hold that pose for a second. Sherry, Amy, I'm talking to you guys. Get a shot of this for us, please.
When you say a
Thank
shot, do you mean for them to
Thank
Angel.
you. Thank you.
My heart looks broken over here, but it's not.
I got
It's not-
I got
no,
an
we're
eye
good,
heart.
we're good.
Get it?
Thank you.
I
guys.
Oh, look at that.
I heart. There you go.
I did it first.
That's good.
I
Hey,
got an
Lisa's
eye
heart's pretty
nose,
good. Okay.
There you go.
And then the interview went south real quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Full frontal nudity, and that's it. Then we're done for. Anyway, on that note,
On that note, thank you all for coming to Front Row Promotions and watching this interview. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Angel. And thank you, Candy, for being in this interview and taking it over for when I couldn't be in it until now.
we got your back. We got your back.
All righty. You sure do. You sure do. And I'm going to sign off, and here we go. Thank you. Front Row Promotions. Bye now.